Today we're going to be installing the Airaid intake system on a 2010 Camaro SS 6.2 liter. So the first thing we got to do in this whole process is we're going to be removing what's called the beauty cover. And very simple to do, you just undo the oil cap and then the whole thing should lift right off and out of place. Okay, once you get the beauty cover off, you want to go ahead and make sure you put your oil cap back on to prevent anything from accidentally falling inside your engine. To go ahead and remove your crankcase breather hose, which is this little thing right here, comes right out of the side, and it should just pop right out with a firm tug, just like so. Move the air bridge from the throttle body, just unscrew it. It should pop off, it does. Disconnect your MAF cable that goes into the side of your MAF sensor, and everything should lift off of here. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is you need to get the MAF sensor out of the side of the air bridge. So that's going to take either a Torx 20 bit or what's the other size? Or 9/32 driver. So I'm going to go get a T20 bit and take that out. I've gone ahead and loosened the bolts here for the MAF sensor, and we're going to go ahead and take it out. Undo your screws, 1 and 2, and just so you know, this is probably the most delicate part of the installation because the MAF is one of the more delicate pieces in here. So you can see on the MAF it actually shows you the direction of the airflow. So when you put it back in, you want to make sure you pay attention to that. I'm just going to loosen these 2 nuts here, which will take this whole air box assembly out, the base piece of it. That's good. Nuts off, and this whole thing lifts up and out, and it's going to feel snug when you're going to pull it out, but down below there's like a little plastic pop rivet that's going into the bottom of your frame rail there, and then it should just pop out and lift straight up. And that's the piece that we're talking about that pops into the frame rail. And the whole thing lifts out. Remove this air duct of the ram air piece and you just squeeze in here. Squeeze it together and the whole thing should pop right out. So you just squeeze on the sides, squeeze on the top, and then the whole thing just will pull out of here like that. You also need, on the factory air box, there's these little plugs, these little grommets that are on the side of the box. I've already pulled them out, but they're slipped right in here. You just pull them out. You're going to be using these when you install them on the Airaid. Okay, so now we have to assemble this little piece here that goes on the bottom of the Airaid assembly, which is going to hold. It's going to take the place of that that plastic lock rivet I showed you earlier that goes into the frame. So this piece is going to go on here like this, and it's going to have a little bumper on it, and we just got to bolt this in, and this holds everything in place. So you're going to be using this little guy here, this small little screw, the bumper, and then the little lock nut. So it goes in like this. This piece goes in here like this. First we got to assemble this, and this goes going on like this. So this piece would go through there. Get you a 3/32 Allen wrench. Stick it in there to kind of hold everything in place. This piece is going to go here. Screw on the back side. Then you can take it and turn it, tighten it up. Okay. You don't have to like gorilla tighten it, but just snug. Then we're going to go in here, inside the air box. Put the screw through. Put a flat washer on. Get you your nylon lock nut. It's the only one that comes in the kit. Push it through. It should come out the top like this. And this piece will go through like that. It's best to have, let me do this another way. Like this, might be easier. Like that. Then you put your nylon lock nut on. Like that. It should look like this when it's done. Now, of course, I just need to snug this down, but that's the way it should look. All right, I'm gonna get something to tighten this down. What size do you think that is?
Quarter inch.
Is it 1/4 inch? Okay, so this is the alignment of this little stopper bracket. It should pretty much run along the contour of the seam here, along the same angle. So then it'll hit your frame rail down below. So we did a test fit, and you can see it goes in and it lands right on the frame rail and hits pretty much perfect. So you can be rest assured, if you just follow this line, you're gonna hit right on. So that pretty much will line you up as long as you use this line as your guide. Metal grommets with the rubber backing on them that were from the OEM airbox, and they go in these holes right here. You can see I've already put one in, and we got to take the other one and put it in, and it just pulls through on the back side here. So just push it in. You just got to keep working it. Put the factory air scoop back into this gets reused and goes into the Airaid. Snaps right into place, like so. We drop it in. Okay, so you can see we've removed that ground nut, or the ground post, and now we're putting the Airaid bracket in. This is probably the most frustrating and difficult part of the whole installation, I'm guessing, at least so far. Very tedious trying to get that nut in the side of the chassis. Airaid cab assembly and everything should line up. Push on down. It just sits right down like that. And it does, just as it should. Make sure the bumper down here is in the right spot, resting on the frame rail, and it is. Make sure this snorkel here is in the right place, and it is. So everything's lined up. Snap that on. And then now we're going to put the factory ground stud back on. And it just goes through the Airaid like this hole right into the bracket you install on the side, and then you screw it down. Okay, so we've got to put the nut in here. We got the ground post in place. We tighten it down. Ta-da! Hold the cab assembly in place. Down. Filter adapter. I don't know, for lack of a better term, I don't know what to call it. Air filter adapter. And you just use your little Allen. There's 3 Allen head bolts, 3 washers. Stick it in, line it up, screw them in. One.